Hey guys, this is Chris from Provo Beast Audio Installation, and today we got a new car in the shop. It's a 2015 Subaru WRX, and in this video we're going to show you how to add an amplifier and a subwoofer to the factory radio. This video is sponsored by NVX Audio, your location for high-quality car audio components. Use coupon code PBAI to get 10% off your purchase. Now, before we get started, let's show you the kit that was sent over by NVX. They sent us over this huge 1-aught power amplifier wiring kit. We're excited to use this. This allows us not only to get our setup going now, but allows us to have room to expand down the road. Now, this kit that they sent over is actually pretty cool. Mind you, this kit does not come with RCA cables. Rather, it expects you to have those already. If you want a set of RCA cables with your amplifier wiring kit, they do provide those kits as well. As we get this open, first thing you see here that draws your attention is this giant wire. This is your power wire that runs from the battery to the trunk area as well. Now, it's a 1-aught cable. It's one of the bigger wires that you can get. Typically, as NVX states, this can support up to 3,000 watts RMS. This kit is nice. It gives you plenty of power wire to run that and a heat shield for underneath the hood. Matching size gauge ground wire as well. A fuse holder, and the cool thing about this fuse holder, it holds mini A&L and full-size A&L fuses. Now, they do include odds and ends and 2 sets of fuses, whether you're on 150 amps or 300 amps. Ring terminals, zip ties, everything that you'll need for the kit. They give you plenty of oxygen-free speaker wire as well. And we can't forget the remote turn-on wire. This allows us to signal our amplifier to turn on when the key is on or radio is on. Alright, so with the hood open, this allows us to find the battery here on the front driver's side of the car. Of course, here's our positive post where we're going to hook our amplifier wiring kit up to. But it's probably advised with this type of wattage, if you're going to be pulling this, to also do a big 3 upgrade, which we will eventually do here in this car. The alternator, fortunately, is just right under this beauty panel, and you can do a big 3 upgrade, meaning you can upgrade the power wire from the alternator to the battery, the ground from the battery to the chassis of the car, and usually your alternator or your engine ground to the chassis of the vehicle as well. Now, for firewall access, a lot of people actually go through the fender, or if you look really closely, actually up underneath there's an unused grommet. Now, the factory loom happens to also run here on the driver's side inner fender, and we're going to run our power wire along with that. And on this side, what we've done is begin slightly removing the inner wheel well lining, or the fender lining. To do so, there's just a few clips. Now, there's a clip here, a clip here, and a clip here, and then there's 2 on the inside as well. This allows us just to pull it back slightly to expose the factory loom. As you can see there's our factory grommet, and what we did is poked a little hole through and ran that braided power wire through that hole. And on this side, we pulled that right on through that hole, and this is where our wire came out. And of course, you see here's all the extra to aid us in pulling that through. We actually just hooked a hanger as a little tip for you, and this hanger goes through that grommet, and then we use some WD-40 to lube up that rubber grommet so this would slip through pretty easily. We've pulled all our excess wire through, and at this point we're going to begin removing the kick panel and all the trim pieces. Clip the carpet here. All right. Push that wire on through. Okay, so from this point, you saw us poke it kind of through that area, tucked it up underneath the carpet, along the factory loom, then using that same wire method, we just fished it behind this panel, and pulling this back, we got our wire, comes right out behind the panel. Now, additionally, what we're going to be installing besides our amplifier is an LC2I. This allows us to avoid any really bass roll-off, or in other words, sometimes factory systems cut out the bass at higher volumes to protect the factory speakers. This corrects that. That allows us to overcome that roll-off and restore that bass through full volume. This has inputs, your power connections, and then RCA outputs that go to your amplifier. What we'll need to do in our install today is connect speaker wire, which we have with our NVX kit. We have 16 gauge speaker wire, which we're going to run from behind the radio. We're just going to tap into the speaker outputs and run those all the way into the speaker inputs on our LC2I. Now from there, we're going to restore that signal through this, and then run just from the sub side, the bass side, a set of RCAs to our NVX bass amplifier. Alright, so we decided to get everything mounted here on the back seat. Here's a little update for you. We got our power run. This is our ground, and we're going to show you where to ground your amplifier. Alright, now so for good grounding location, you can actually pull this back. You'll notice we have this kind of plastic cover to help finish the shape of the trunk here, the bottom part of the cargo area. We can pop that out, and there's a bunch of bolts up underneath that we can really clean the paint off to create a great ground. Now to get this plastic part off, as we pull this back, there's going to be 3 clips, 1, 2, and 3. You can actually just use a flathead screwdriver, and they're held in with pressure. They'll pop right out, and this whole piece just comes on out as one hole. Once that's out, then you're able to get to those bolts. Okay, so with that part out, we would just set it off to the side there, because it just comes right on out. There's a few places where you can ground. We've chosen this location. Now, of course, this may still not be the best location, just because we're on top of that bracket, and it still may introduce some resistance, being that it's probably still a painted surface underneath the bracket. So I suggest still possibly removing that bracket completely and cleaning the paint. This is somewhat just temporary because we're adding another battery bank, really a big system down the road. Additionally, we got our line out converter, our LC2I, mounted as well. Now it does require power and ground itself, which is this red and black wire. Now we've run that all the way, and as you can see, we've just kind of piggybacked on that power and ground there, and that's where it's gaining that power. And then this wire is our remote turn-on wire. Fortunately for the LC2I, it senses the signal and automatically turns on the amplifier when there's a signal being played, so I don't have to run a separate remote turn-on wire. This will do it for me. So that's the output, remote out, and that goes to the remote in on the amplifier. So when there's a signal, the LC2I will turn on the amplifier for us. Now, this left-hand side, that's our speaker wire input, which we've run up underneath the carpet. We just fished it through, and we got a bundle here, and this essentially will run all the way up to the head unit, and we're just going to use some T-taps to be very uninvasive to the factory wiring. We're just going to tap into the signal behind the radio, and we're going to show you what that looks like. Next here we have our RCAs, which we also tucked through the carpet. This is our subwoofer output, as this LC2I converts the signal to a low-level signal. What it's going to do is through the output over to the input on the amplifier. And so those are our main connections. Alright, so since the power and ground is done, we got our LC2I mounted and our amplifier. We got our RCAs connected into the amp inputs. Really at this time, all we need to do is run our signal, our high-level signal, tapping into behind the radio. Now it's that set of terminals there, and as you've seen before, we ran it up underneath the carpet, we ran it down here. Now we just tucked it underneath the seat, pull the seat back. The seat comes up just if you pull from the back inside. Ran that cable on down. Now what we're going to do, since eventually we know we're going to upgrade this wire by adding an aftermarket radio up in the dash cavity area, we're just going to do a nice little tuck, because eventually this is going to come out as we upgrade this with nicer RCA cables at a later date. So we're going to get this tucked along with the bass knob wire all the way along working our way. We're gonna go up underneath, then up to behind the radio area. All right, so we've run our speaker wire, just tucked it all the way under the panels up to the front area here. Now we need to start prepping to actually go back behind the radio. To do so, this dash panel is actually just held on with clips, but there's quite a few harnesses to disconnect in order for us to pull that whole piece out to get to the mounting brackets for the radio. All we need to do is pop the radio out just so far that'll allow us to tap into the speaker wire, and then basically reinstall everything. So we'll start here at the top using a panel tool. What we could do is kind of work your way in here at the top. What that's going to do is separate the bezel. Now we're using these panel tools which really protect the finish so you don't scratch anything. It'd be a lot different if you used a screwdriver. But that'll allow us to pop this out just far enough where now we can disconnect the infotainment center as well as the hazard lights. Just like so. Now, we don't have to totally disconnect it. I mean, we could just leave it down. Or if you want, since these are your HVAC controls, you can push this tab in and pop this whole bezel out. So it's up to you. Now, this allows us a little bit of space as we prep to go up into the dash. Alright. Now next here, we need to just pop the radio out just briefly so we can use our T-taps. Just tap into that speaker output.
All those Phillips. Just like that. Down below. Alright, bracket comes out, the last screw.
Now, I'm not going to totally take the radio out because there's a lot of harnesses to undo. What I did instead is I just unplugged the main harness, and it looks like this on the 2015 model. Now the 2016 and up, actually they changed the radio harness just slightly, where it kind of looks like a Toyota radio harness. And so that may differentiate for you in this install just so slightly. Also the dash trim and the radio trim will differ once you hit the 2016 model, because the radio is actually all one piece versus one separate radio itself. So a couple things to keep in mind. Very similar install though. Okay, so we went ahead and connected those. For your left hand side, positive is blue yellow and negative is white black. And then for the right hand side set of speakers, positive is brown yellow and negative is green. So those T-taps, just tap that wire pretty well. The nice thing about this is I can remove those T-taps and there'd be very little if any damage to the wire. And that was my purpose. I didn't want to really tear into it too much, just because I know down the road I'm going to be installing an aftermarket radio anyway. So that's all I needed to do. Now what we're going to do is just get that flipped up, plugged in back into the back of the radio, and basically hook the positive and negative back up to the battery, and we're just about there. Okay, so we went ahead and reassembled the dash, everything just in reverse order. We got the harness plugged back into the radio, and radio is all back in nice and tight. Made sure everything was super secure on the back of the radio with all the harnesses. Once the radio was all plugged in, we reinstalled all the screws holding the radio in, and then we reinstalled the actual dash bezel, plugged in all our harnesses once again, and really that's all good to go. Now we got our key here. Let's do a little test here. We got some nice bass. If you have any questions about the install, just go ahead and post a comment below. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. And we will certainly see you in the next video. Have a great day.